Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, today, in case you don't recognize it, we are standing in front of the Back to the Future Mall, in real life known as Puente Hills Mall in City of Industry, California. I'm Jeff W. Roche, also known to you, if you're watching this right now, probably as The Man Strikes Again, or TMSA for short. And this is a place that all Back to the Future fans must trek to if they can, especially if you live in the greater Los Angeles region like I do. This is a must see, a must do. So I'm going to wander around, I'm going to check it out. Maybe I'll be able to highlight some of the shots from the movie. And I would really like it if you join me if I do it, because it's about time. By which I mean time to shoot the video, not time. Whatever. Look who is here with us today, everyone. Adam Reyes, at middle name Adam. I don't know why I keep promoting this guy, because he does absolutely nothing for me on social media. Anyway, Adam just saw Back to the Future for the first time ever last night. Tell us about that experience, Adam.
It was a really good movie. I was surprised that a movie would be of that high quality. A movie that came out before I was born. So
that, my friends, just goes to show the staying power of this franchise, because this guy is quite particular, and most classic 80s, 90s films that I encourage him to check out, he just says, why would I want to watch that? That's old. And I wondered how critical he would be towards the original Back to the Future. He really enjoyed it.
My favorite rock band is Guns N' Roses, the greatest band of all time.
That's a good point. Actually, that gives me an idea for a song. Just write this down real quick. She's got eyes that, it seems to me, remind me of childhood memories, where everything was as fresh as the bright blue sky. That's all I got for now, but I think those are good lyrics, so maybe we can make use out of it later on. That could be a hit, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're now going to venture inside of Puente Hills Mall, because last I knew, the original sign from the movie that tells you that it's Twin Pines Mall and then Lone Pine Mall is somewhere inside this building. Here's a little fantasy versus reality, folks. Look at this place. This looks like it was probably a really posh restaurant with a nice outdoor eating area where you could have sushi and seafood. And it's gone. 2025, there's nothing there. What a shame. I would have liked to have lunch here.
This looks abandoned. I don't think it's open.
It's open.
Sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure that you're a tool.
Oh yeah. It still looks dead inside.
I'm sure that Doc Emmet Brown is a lot smarter than you. That's what I'm sure of. Wow. There's like really nothing in here. Okay. When we pulled up to this mall, there was a lot of cars in the parking lot. Way more than I expected, right? Because this is a dead mall. And now that we're inside, I can see just how dead it really is. This is more like what I expected to see on the inside. The amount of cars outside made it look more like it was less dead than I thought, if that makes any sense. It's really just unfortunate that this is the age that we're in, okay? And as you well know, I'm a child of the 1980s, and I miss the mall era. I miss the era where stuff like this was. This place would have been jumping, right, Adam Reyes? Yeah, exactly, jumping. Just like that. It's 2025, folks, and unfortunately, we're not in the age of the mall anymore. We're in the age of Amazon.com. Oh, wait! Oh!
That's not the real.
That's not the real one?
Not according to what I read. It's like a replica.
So you mean you trust information you got from the internet just like automatically? Look,
I
you
believe
guys.
everything I read on the internet.
Look, you guys. Holy guacamole. There it is. They put a rope in front of it. The actual Twin Pines Mall sign. So here's the thing, Back to the Future fans. I remember this because I just watched the movie last night. The mall is called Twin Pines Mall in the beginning of the movie, right? Then Doc Brown mentions that a crazy old guy named Peabody wanted to breed pine trees. Then Marty goes back in time, crashes into Peabody's garage, and then on the way out, Marty runs over a pair of trees and kills one of the trees. The trees that he runs over is a super quick shot in the movie. You gotta pay close attention to see it. But then when he comes back forward to 1985, it's not called Twin Pines Mall anymore. It's called Lone Pine Mall, I think. So that means that this sign would have only been in the first part of the movie. But here it is. And according to Reyes, you doubling down on that, Reyes?
Yeah, I am.
According to Reyes, this isn't the screen used mall sign, but close enough and cool enough. And obviously, it's like the only real attraction in this mall, like anywhere. Oh my God, it's just sad. Look at this place. Anyway, there's the thing we came to find, and it's totes epic. So now Reyes and I get to sit here, right at the exact spot where Marty McFly came upon this sign. It says Twin Pines Mall, and it's featured at the beginning and it's featured at the end. At the end, he comes back and he runs up. It says Lone Pine Mall, and he hides behind it while he watches the Libyans shoot the dock. Now we're sitting here. Isn't that kind of crazy? May not be crazy to you. Crazy to me. Crazy to you?
40 years. Is that guy still alive?
Who?
McFly.
Michael J. Fox?
Yeah.
Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
Or are you just being a douche?
Wasn't he like 70 years old now or something?
He's like in his 50s.
Really?
Alive and well.
Wow.
He has Parkinson's disease.
So he was 10 years old when
He's
he
the
shot
world's
that?
most no, he's probably like 20. I don't know.
Same thing that we are?
Which
he-
is Back to the Future?
was filmed right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
I just ran. We watched it on YouTube and we just ran his route because the photo booth would have been right there.
Uh-huh.
It goes up
I
next
forgot
to
about the
straightaway.
photo booth. He drives through it.
That's why we hit it. He goes straight up that route, comes
Yeah.
around this way, and then he tries to hit 90, which the DeLorean couldn't do right up to the photo
Yeah, I know.
booth, right
The
up
real
there.
one doesn't go that high on the speedometer. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just made the run and had him do it. We love that movie.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I wish I did.
Oh, I was
man.
going to tell you to
appreciate
shout it out.
I wish, man. We're about to go in father and son and take a picture next to the Twin Pines sign.
We just did that.
Oh, shit. Is it in there? Everything's good?
It's going to be in there. Oh, yeah, the sign's still in there. Yeah.
Awesome,
Uh-huh.
man. You guys have a blessed day.
It's The Man Strikes Again. I'll put this in the video.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all one word.
Absolutely.
One fan to another, bro, of course.
1985.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
You're
Take
welcome.
it easy.
Enjoy it. Well, what do you know? See? That's why we're here, folks. For the love. For the nerd-tastic love. Clean, pure. What does Frank Drebin say in Naked Gun? He says, clean love. No, love. Pure love. The clean kind. Something like that. Can we force perspective that? Does it look like anything at all like it would look in the movie? If we put it down on the floor, right? You flip the camera upside down. This way. Shit. See my DeLorean, ladies? I'm balling. Just like Doc Brown, I drove my remote control DeLorean in the parking lot at the Hill Valley Mall. And it goes backwards. And make sure you get this part. This is fashioned just after the remote. Look at that dust, it's terrible. Fashioned just after the remote he has in the movie, right? And then when you hit this button, it speeds up. Oh, it lit up. I thought it sped up. Maybe it doesn't speed up. 88 centimeters per hour. 88 inches an hour. How far is 88 inches from here? So, I have lived in the Ventura area for about 2.5 years. And I think that I knew this mall was here before that, but I wasn't that close to it. Like, this is like within a 2-hour drive from me. And this is my first time coming here after I wanted to come here a lot of times, but life is life, and you gotta grown up and you gotta adult, so you don't always get to do what you want to do. But I finally made it here today. So now for the first time, I'm standing in the parking lot where Doc Brown revealed the DeLorean to Marty McFly, and that's kind of crazy. That's kind of amazing. And in fact, all of the shooting locations that are real life spots, which is most of them in Back to the Future. In fact, the only two I know of that aren't is the area where the clock tower is. That's a studio at Universal. It's still there. You probably knew that already. And in the third movie, the Wild Western Town, that was a set. But all the rest of the most famous locations are all real life places that you can visit. They're all here in the greater Los Angeles area. Some of them are right in my own backyard neighborhood where I live in the Ventura Oxnard area. So, and the weather that you see in the movies is the actual real life weather that we have here year round. So in a way, I felt like I have lived in Back to the Future and lived in Hill Valley entirely for the past 2.5 years. And for me, a big time movie nerd who grew up with this trilogy, when the original Back to the Future came out, I paused for dramatic effect, 5 years old. Because I was born in 1980, like it says here. And Back to the Future came out, the original, in 1985. Marty McFly is 17 in the movie, and I'm 5, so he would have been way too old to hang out with me. The point is, I grew up in that era, and to then come here where it was made and see it like this in person, it's surreal. It's unreal. That used to be a Sears. Now it's a 24-hour fitness. Fun fact about me, one of my lifetime goals as of right now is to own a real DeLorean, but I don't have one. As you can see, that is not the car that I came here today in. I also do not own the Nike Mag self-lacing shoes or a gray sports almanac. However, I do have this authentic Mattel hoverboard, which spends most of its time looking on my shelf looking cool. And so I brought it here today for the sole purpose of being able to say that I stood in the Back to the Future parking lot with my hoverboard in hands, which I can do. And the funny thing about this hoverboard is that it has no function of any kind. It does absolutely nothing except look cool because it's pink and has the stickers on it, but it's not rideable, and if I step on it, I'll probably even damage it because it's thin plastic. So it's an awesome prop for a photo right now, for video, right? But it is totally useless IRL. And by the way, Back to the Future and other sci-fi 80 movies like it totally let me down because these flying cars and a long list of other things do not actually exist 40 years later. That's okay though, I still love having this. The bad news is developers have purchased this property sometime in the past year and a half, if I remember right. And the word is they eventually might level it and build condominiums or whatever here, which in a way would be a shame, but a way would make sense because they get more use out of the land. So we don't know that this mall will be here forever. And every month and year that it continues to be here is something for us Back to the Future fans to cherish, which is why I made a point of finally coming here today after many delays. I finally made it, and you got to see it. I'm Jeff Roche, and thank you so much for nerding out with me at the Back to the Future Mall today.